On the biology EOC, you might see some questions that look similar to this. What this lesson is going to show you is how to do some test-taking strategies. The test-taking strategies are designed to help you think through the problems that you're struggling with on the biology EOC. And hopefully the strategies that we show you today will help you think through the problem long enough and put enough information into the problem that you'll be able to determine the right answer. Now, when you see a problem on the biology EOC that looks confusing, it may have big words and a picture that's confusing, the first thing I want you to do is cover up the picture, either with your hand or your reference guide that you have. Cover it up. And the reason I'm asking you to cover it up is because sometimes you spend so much time looking at the picture, trying to figure out what it is, that you might miss some crucial information, either in the information, or you might get lost just trying to decide what that picture is. Okay? So the first thing we're going to do after we cover the picture is we're going to look at the information, we're going to read it, and try to see how much information we have about it. A photomicrograph of onion root tip cells during mitosis is shown below. Now at first glance, or after I've read that the first time, it's confusing. It's confusing because there's some words in there that are big. You may not really be sure what it's asking you, but if you've been in any kind of science, whether it's biology, IPC, chem, phys, environmental, you should remember that cells are small structures. Yes, they're very small structures. And just the way that I'm writing it on the paper, that I'm putting information down, that's the same thing I want you to do on the test with the questions that you're struggling with. Okay, so cells are very small structures. The next word that might be confusing to you is mitosis. Now, you may not remember exactly everything about mitosis, but you should at least remember that it has to do with division, specifically cell division. Okay, so now we know that it's about very small structures that are dividing. Okay, the next word, onion root tip. We know what an onion is, we know what a root is. Onion is something you eat, the root is underground. And since we're looking at cells that are dividing, we know it's going to be something very small that we're looking at. Photomicrograph. On the biology EOC, you're going to see words and you're going to see pictures that you've never seen before. The one thing you need to do is not get nervous or anxious. Break it down, go step by step, like this right here. Photomicrograph. I don't know what that word means, but I do know what micro means. And the only reason I know what micro means is because I've used microscopes in class. We talk about microorganisms, so I know that micro means small. Okay? So photograph is a picture. Therefore, now when we look at that sentence, we're looking at a picture of something small. It's going to be of onion root tip cells, and they're going to be dividing. Okay? Now we're going to look at the image. When you look at the image, try to decide what's similar and what's different. I notice that there's a lot of similar things on this image. Since we have so many things that are similar, let's focus on the things that are different. We already know that we're looking at cells and they're dividing. And the process is called mitosis. When the chromosomes are in the middle of the cell, you should remember that it's metaphase. When the chromatids have separated and they're at the poles, it's anaphase. If for some reason you don't remember these words, I want you to write down what you observe. You observe that even if you can't remember what these are called, you want to put at opposite sides. Okay? And right here, you want to put that they're in the middle. Now we're ready to look at the question. Which phase of mitosis is occurring in the cell indicated by the arrow? I know in this paper you can't see the arrow, but on the test it was looking at this one. Here are my answer choices. So even if you didn't know what the phases were, you have the phases listed right here. Let's say you can't remember what prophase is, but you do know that metaphase is in the middle. And anaphase is at opposite sides. Telophase is when they're divided already. And then cytokinesis, etc. Prophase is the very beginning. So based on what you've written down and based on what the image they're asking you to look at, which phase of mitosis is being asked, or which is being shown? This one, opposite sides, opposite sides. Answer is anaphase. After you answer the question, does it make sense? You have to ask yourself if it makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, go back through the process. Now, you don't want to do this for all the questions on the test because you won't have time, but the 5 or 10 that you're struggling with, I want you to do the test taking strategies, step by step, just the way I did it.